guys do enjoy that video. I really think it came out really nice. When I first posted it, it seemed like not a lot of you guys watched it, but then over time, it started to, more of you guys started to see it. So if you haven't seen it yet, or want more sort of typical ASMR content, make sure you guys check that one out. I have more planned out to my mind that I need to still get on, but like I said, I really want to start transitioning into more ASMR, traditional ASMR content, plus obviously the sports, plus obviously the gaming content. I know that hasn't really been a thing recently, but it'll come eventually. Obviously with the PS5, hoping to get that sometime. New games are new to drop, obviously this fall, December, springtime is going to be a lot more gaming content on this channel as well, so just give it a little bit of time. Also, I very much do apologize if you hear a lot of background noise in this video. It is raining outside. I don't know if you guys can really hear it, but I can. And also, obviously when it's raining, cars drive more loudly for some reason, so if you hear a lot of car noises outside or anything like that, I do apologize, but now we can finally jump right into the video. But of course, like the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 5k subs. I really want to hit 5k before my 4-year anniversary, which is in February, so still have a couple months. I think we'll hit it, but it'll really mean a lot to me, guys. Maybe even for Christmas, if things start popping off, I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, getting right into the video. We are grading every first round pick of the 2020 NBA draft for every team. So with that being said, this is probably going to be maybe a longer video. I'm going to like speed run through these things, so I'm sorry if I don't really give out really good explanations, but going through all 30 picks, if I speak about them for too long, this is going to be like an hour-long video, so I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can. So, with that being said, grading every first-round pick of the 2020 draft, I am looking at a Bleacher Report right now just to sort of get a vibe of how sort of like experts have thought of them, but I'm still going to give my own grade for everyone. And then also just because I don't remember obviously all the picks that happened that night, so starting off, the first overall pick in this year's draft was, in fact, Anthony Edwards, which, again, in my mock draft video, I thought they would. He was the safest pick for them. Perfect for the shooting guard position next to D'Angelo Russell. Can complement, Karl Anthony Towns. Not going to take a lot of spotlight and shine and shots away from him. Very good complementary piece on the defensive end and the offensive end. I say this was like, it was the best case scenario for them drafting a player, but really upset that they didn't move it. I really thought they were going to move it somehow to get some sort of player like, I can't even think of one, but maybe just a better, more developed young star type of player, or, even trading it just to get anyone, but they didn't. So I was a little disappointed that that didn't happen. I'm sure they are too, but they did get, the most solid pick. And according to the person who wrote this article, who is Zach Buckley, he graded them a B, and I feel like I would say like a B plus. I probably wouldn't go anywhere lower than that, just because of, if they drafted like LaMelo or literally anyone else but Anthony Edwards, I would definitely give it a very much lower grade. But disappointed that they didn't trade it, but they did get probably the most perfect fit, so I'll say B plus. I think that's probably perfect for them. Very average. Number 2, we have James Wiseman going to the Warriors, which again, a lot of people sort of thought that was going to happen anyways. Yeah, this was obviously like a very good pickup for them. But again, very much like normal. It's not like, oh my god, yes, they got James Wiseman, let's go, like this is awesome. I would have rather them have traded the pick. I would have rather have traded the pick to get like Vucevic or some other big time centered player like that, or trading it away to get a good small forward or something else, some sort of piece that they could have for this championship run that they're going to go on next season and following probably the year after that. So I'm, again, like the Timberwolves, disappointed that that didn't happen, but they did get their man. So again, I think he gave them a B plus. I'll also match that with a B plus. They got their guy. They got the center. They got the position they needed the most help with. The guy with arguably the most upside, maybe behind LaMelo Ball, if you want to argue that. But I would have given them an A. action, not sort of baby him, but give some hints, tricks, different things there. Hopefully he's down there and practicing with them, with the team and stuff like that. So I hope that'll be fine. And thank God that the Charlotte Hornets did this. Obviously he was probably the best option at that time, and they just need the best player at that time. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, they don't need another guard. They have Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham." Sorry, they have Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. But I was saying like they wouldn't trade or not pick. They wouldn't pick LaMelo Ball because they already have those two guards. And I don't think Devontae Graham or Terry Rozier are going to stop you from taking a guaranteed all-star pick in the next couple years. You feel me? So maybe not guaranteed, but definitely a very good chance. So next up we have pick number 4, which in my opinion was like my first wait, what type of pick, and it was Patrick Williams at number 4 to the Chicago Bulls. And I talked about Patrick Williams in my last video. I really liked him, but I only really liked him going top 10. I could not imagine him going top 5. This is a extremely raw player who is just really right now playing on raw athleticism. He has great defense, and he's a very smart, high IQ player. Doesn't play like bad or sloppy like a lot of young players do. He plays very smart, and I think that's nice. But in my opinion, Denny was the move. I feel like them getting another ball handler who can sort of facilitate to Zach LaVine and Kobe White and all the bigs that they have would have been a better idea. Now I can see that why they picked Patrick Williams, because he plays sort of the opposite way of sort of everyone else they have on the team already. He is not a go-to scorer. He's a go-to defender, a good wing defender. He can arguably already be their best wing defender if he starts next year, which he probably will. And he can still grow into being a good 3-and-D type shooter, being very athletic and everything like that. So I can see why they probably picked him up. But I don't know. It was a good pickup, but if they were going to pick up Patrick Williams, they should have traded that pick and went back down in the draft. They could have traded that pick for, I don't know, pick 6, 7, 8, 9th maybe, and gotten, a pick and maybe something else for, Patrick Williams, and they could still get their man. So I don't understand why they took him so high, but apparently they really liked him. So I would give them maybe like a C+, B-. I don't really see it being anything higher than that. They gave them a B+. At pick number 5, again, a very big what is happening moment, was Isaac Okoro to the Cleveland Cavaliers at pick number 5. Again, I really liked Isaac Okoro. He could definitely be a top 10 pick, but him being number 5, a top 5 pick, just like Patrick Williams, just a player who's just playing on raw athleticism right now. He is a really good defender. Definitely could be a really good defender. Probably is their best perimeter defender on their team already off rip, starting wise. But again, it's really weird to see him go so high when there are so many great players who are still on this team, on this sort of draft board that they could have picked up that would have impacted their team right now, which is probably what they need. Instead, they went for a sort of project piece, and Isaac Okoro is probably going to take a couple years to develop an offensive game, which I don't know if they can really sacrifice a couple more years of being really bad, because they've already been really bad for a while, obviously, without having LeBron James. So, hey man, if they still want to do this sort of like slow roasting of a rebuild, then hey, go ahead, that's totally fine. But I think an Onyike would have been a better pickup. I feel like there's a lot of other really good 3-and-D players that could have picked up at the 3 spot or the 2 spot. So if that's the way they want to go, that's the way they can go. But I would give this again like a B-. I'd probably maybe give this like a C+. I don't think any really good player development is happening in Cleveland. They gave him a B, so around where I was doing. At pick 6, we have Onyike Okongwu from the Atlanta Hawks. I think this is perfect. I think Onyike could have been, 4 through 8 is like his sort of range, and I think pick 6 is pretty safe for him. I really like Onyike a lot as a player. I feel like he can be, a start now, big man, average like 15 and 10 a game right now, be a really good defending big at the 4 or 5 spot, but Atlanta has John Collins assuming is either A, Clint Capella's out and you keep John Collins, or you trade John Collins for someone big, like a sort of all-star star to play with Trae Young, and then you have Onyike as the backup, or option 3, you play all 3 of them and you just rotate players in and out throughout the game. It's probably what they're going for, but I don't know if how big an ego, John Collins, Clint Capella have, that they're already adding a young, play now ready piece alongside them, when arguably, I said it before, when Trae Young is not on the court, the Atlanta Hawks are dumbfounded. They have no idea what to do. That's why, in my opinion, I thought going with another guard who can play with or without Trae Young would have been the best option. Again, this is only my opinion. Obviously, they probably know way more than I do, but I thought that would have been a lot better. So, Onyike is a great player, so I'm going to give them a B+, just based off of that. But I feel like if they would have gotten like a Tyrese Halliburton or Killian Hayes, or just another really good 2-guard to play with Trae Young, I would have been a little bit more excited. But Onyike is still a great big man. They gave them a B-. Okay, so yeah. Again, just based off fit, it's just going to be really weird, in my opinion, really weird. At number 7, we had Killian Hayes going to the Detroit Pistons. I feel like this is perfect. He is a combo guard who can play with Derrick Rose right now, or even replace Derrick Rose if he gets traded or bought out or anything like that. So he's definitely a player who's going to take some time to sort of develop the game. I thought Onyike was going to go here, sort of replacing Andre Drummond as their next sort of big star center, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I feel like this is awesome. I think this is maybe an A- to an A. I really, really like this idea with them. And the reporter gave them an A-. So again, an A- for me as well. This is perfect. A guard who is played overseas, played with grown men, a very smart, developed, high IQ player who can just score the ball right now, and is going to, pair well with Derrick Rose while he's still around, if he sticks around. We'll see. I don't know. We'll get that. I guess we'll have to see. Also, Detroit made a lot of different moves. They traded Luke Kennard to the Clippers, which is absolutely insane. The Clippers just got another really, really, really good role player who arguably could start for some teams in the NBA. So I think he averaged around 15 points per game. Is a really dependent 3-point shooter, which is great. I think obviously on the defensive end he's a little sus, but I think this is going to be very helpful for the Clippers. Obviously adding more of a scorer now. Now that Lou Will is a little older now, kind of not the same sort of 6th man of the year that we know him to be. So maybe Luke Kennard can sort of take over that role. Pick number 8 was Obi Toppin to the New York Knicks. Now, as a NBA fan, I love this. Obi Toppin is a New York native. I'm pretty sure he probably raved about the Knicks during like his draft interview or something like that. I really love sort of like stories like that, like watching his interview and like bawling his eyes out, like really touched me. I thought that was really awesome. I guess that's like every dude's dream is playing for their favorite team, and he got to do that, especially playing at the mecca of basketball and the Madison Square Garden. That's has to be insane, and apparently the Knicks really wanted to, so it's a match made in heaven, basketball fan-wise. My basketball head really wants me to be like, what the heck is going on? It's either that A, they have no idea what they're doing and they just took the best player available, which makes sense because of the Knicks, or they are trading Bobby Portis or Julius Randle at some point before or during the season, which probably is the most likely of the two. So I think Obi Toppin is great. He's a player who can play right now. Average like 15 and 10-ish, maybe. He can still develop a good game. I can see him being a lot like how Kyle Kuzma was at his rookie season, scoring crazy, no one really knowing, and him just gonna be off rip, being really good, especially playing alongside RJ Barrett. But fit for right now, I didn't really like. I feel like again, Tyrese or some sort of guard would have been really good, or even a forward would be nice, but not a power forward. But they went with him, and who knows, maybe it'll turn out great. Maybe he'll give him a little bit more of a boost of, trying to impress his favorite team, and maybe he'll play a little bit better. But I'd give this like a if they don't trade Randall or Bobby Portis at some point this season, it's like a C. It's like really like, what is happening? You're wasting talent. If they do trade one of them, I'll definitely give this like a solid B, just because I feel like he's definitely the forward they can go along with in the future. So the reporter gave them a B+, so that kind of makes sense. He probably is betting on one of them being traded as well. At pick number 9 was my boy Denny players. So I really like this pick, but I am terrified. I am so terrified of the Washington Wizards player development staff, and I pray that they're ready to try to develop this guy as best as they can. Now, obviously they've had John Wall, Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura all turn out to be very good, but I always feel like they've been good off rip. I feel like Denny is probably their most project piece that they ever had. Denny's good right now, but he can be developed into a great player. If that doesn't happen, he'll just be a pretty meh player in the NBA, which is really sad. I just hope that Washington really takes their time with Denny and really makes sure that he is okay and developing in the right track, in the right direction. Otherwise, this will be a bust, and I will hate that because I think Denny has a great potential in the NBA. If everything turns out A-okay, I give this an A- because I love Denny. Denny's game is going to be really good. They gave him a B-, just due to the fact that what I just said, him not being a very polished player right now off rip probably hurts him a lot, but mark my words, I have a very good feeling about him. At pick 10, my god, this was definitely an eye-opener. The Phoenix Suns drafted Jalen Smith. I know a player I didn't even talk about in my mock draft video. The Phoenix Suns went with a big man, which I can definitely understand that why they would pick a 4, because obviously if you look at the Phoenix Suns, what is their weakest position? The power forward. They just drafted a power forward, but they just traded for Chris Paul. You are in a playoff-bound team. Why would you waste a draft pick when you could pick up a scorer off the bench like a Devin Vassell, Sadiq Bey, someone who can just play right now, average 10 points off the bench, and you're good to go, instead of a project piece power forward, when you can just get a power forward in free agency, or even start Aaron Baines at the 4 and have Ayton at the 5. They're a playoff team right now. You guys need to start preparing like a playoff team, not like a team where you need to develop, the next position up. You don't need to do that anymore. You have to go out there and find one. But I feel like they should have taken the best option. Obviously, their bench needs the most help for sure. Besides, obviously, Cam Johnson, who's probably going to start for them. But I didn't like this pick. I know he averaged pretty good numbers in college, but to me, it's just not worth it. I think I give this honestly maybe a C-. I think C- is probably my pick for this. I didn't like it at all. Sure, this kid can be good one day. I don't really see him being an off-rip starter, but if he does, that's awesome. That's perfect. But I just don't see it. The reporter also gave them a C-, so I definitely see that. At pick 11, the San Antonio Spurs got Devin Vassell. This was awesome. This is maybe an A+. I might give it an A+, honestly. This guy is going to be really good off the rip, going to be a great player for them. I am going to mark it down a little bit to maybe a B+ or a A-, because Devin Vassell is a perfect 2 guard in the NBA today. Definitely the Spurs need a small forward. Now they're betting on him being a small forward for them. Then it makes a lot of sense, but I don't really see him being a pure small forward, being able to guard other small forwards. I'd much rather him be a shooting guard. So they already have a lot of good guards on the team, like Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker as well. So they have a lot of young players already at that position. So I don't know if they're gonna throw in Devin also in that mix of young guards that they have, but he's definitely going to be very valuable and a great 3D player off rip. So I'll give this I'll give this a B+. If they can make him a small forward, that'd be perfect. But if they can't, then that's going to be very awkward. At pick number 12, we finally have Tyrese Halliburton to the Sacramento Kings. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, what are you doing? This is so weird, yada yada yada. And God, don't even get me started on what happened with Bogdanovich and how that trade just diminished out of thin air. If you didn't know, Bogdanovich has sort of said no to the sign and trade deal to Milwaukee. Apparently, the Kings made that trade to Milwaukee, assuming that Bogdan would be playing on a contending team with Giannis Antetokounmpo, the MVP of the league. Of course, he'll do it. He'll say yes, and they accepted the trade. But Bogdan said, "No, I don't want to do that," and so the trade is off. So Bogdan is not going to the Milwaukee Bucks as of right now. Thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, they got Tyrese, who is a sort of point guard type of player, and I thought he was going to go to the Hawks, which again I thought was a good idea to play alongside Trae Young. So just take what I said about that and apply it to the Sacramento Kings. He can play alongside De'Aaron Fox. When De'Aaron Fox is off the court, he can play. When they're playing together, they can play together very well. He's a good three-point shooter, good ball handler. He can play off the ball, with the ball. I think it's going to be a good pickup for them now. It really comes down to what they're going to do with Buddy Hield. If Buddy Hield does not get traded, Buddy Hield is not going to see a lot of playing time, or reverse it, Tyrese isn't going to see a lot of playing time. So they really need to either pick one, or my God, they're going to have to give up a lot to have both those young players play together. I'm surprised Buddy Hield is still on the team. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But as an individual sort of pickup, I really like this. So I'll give this like a B, a solid B, for sure. They gave it an A. Wow, I'm surprised actually. That makes a lot of sense actually. At pick number 13 was a very big one in my opinion. Pick 13 was Kira Lewis Jr. to the New Orleans Pelicans, which was okay. I was pretty surprised that they went with this player. Nothing sort of crazy about this guy. He seems pretty average in my opinion. Apparently it says here Lewis is a 3-level scorer at his 165-pound frame that needs more bulk, which definitely makes a lot of sense. I think he's a guard player, if I do remember. Do the New Orleans Pelicans need a sort of guard to play with Lonzo in the future? Yes, of course. They need a new 2 guard, so I mean, if this guy can sort of develop into that, that'd be nice. Or maybe move Lonzo to the 2 or something like that. I think it's very nice. But obviously, your 3 is down with Ingram, your point guard is down with Lonzo Ball, and obviously you have Zion. So all you really needed was a sort of guard or center. Apparently guards were very much popular so far. So very, very interesting of a pickup. I would have probably went with like an Aaron Naismith in my opinion. So that's why I'm going to give this like a B minus C plus, because I don't really just know a lot about this player. They gave this a B plus, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, somewhere around that B area. At pick 14 though, the Boston Celtics got Aaron Naismith, which definitely on paper is a very good idea. Aaron Naismith is a really good 3-and-D player as well. Like a lot of the players in this draft, maybe the best one besides maybe Devin Vassell. You can argue these two together, but the Boston Celtics already are very, 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 very guard heavy, forward heavy with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker. They also have another very young guard that they're very high on. I forgot his name though, but they have like 5 wing players that are like good play now players, and then you're adding another really good play now player in Aaron Naismith. So I would have probably liked him. They got a big man because they obviously need big man depth, so they could have gotten like a Precious or someone like that, but they went with another good wing, which we all know the Celtics can score on the wing. We all know that, but the inside is where they really need to start working on, and I really hope they get that figured out, because otherwise they're going to get smoked in the East again. I give this like a C+, because Aaron Naismith is a good player, but fit-wise it's terrible. They also gave him a C+ for grading. Pick 15 was Cole Anthony for the Orlando Magic. Cole Anthony, a really good point guard. But again, fit-wise, Orlando already has Markelle Fultz, and I am still very big on Markelle Fultz. I can still see him being the starting point guard on that team for years to come, and I would like that. No, I do not think you can play both these players together, because Cole is a very ball-dominant point guard, and obviously you cannot play Markelle Fultz without the ball because he cannot shoot. So I didn't really like this pickup as well. I would have liked them taking a more secured shooting guard. I think that would have been better, because obviously they have Fournier at the 3, Aaron Gordon at the 4, and you have Vucevic at the 5. You have Fultz at the point guard. I think a shooting guard would have been more important to have gotten, instead of trying to maybe hope that Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz can play on the floor together, instead we got a player that we were going to draft, but he's already a veteran, so it's perfect. So I hate when people say that they give up too much, but this draft was going to be a player like him anyways, and they give up a next year first round pick, which you need to realize Portland's going to be back to being, like, obviously knocking on wood, need health and all that stuff, but they're going to be back to being a good team. That first round pick isn't going to be anything super crazy like a top 15, top 10 pick, so keep that in mind. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went out right there, but I never really talked about that Robert Covington trade, I don't think, but they picked up Isaiah Stewart, a big man from Washington. I don't like this pickup at all. They just got rid of Andre Drummond because he plays too much like a old man, big man, which Isaiah Stewart just plays like a back to the past, like old man, big man as well. You should have just kept Drummond if you were going to draft a player like this. So I don't like this at all. This is like a C minus pickup for me. Oh, they gave him a D. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't like this pickup at all. If anything, if they would have went with a big man, I would have liked Precious, because Precious you can play at the 4 or 5 playing small ball, which obviously the league is going to more. I don't think Isaiah Stewart is going to be anything that special. Pick 17, Oklahoma got Alexkej, Aleksej. Totally butchered that, my apologies, but I like this. This is like okay, I guess. He's a very, very raw player, sort of like a Dragon Bender type of player, if you remember him a couple years ago. But if you could obviously develop a young player like this, and obviously Oklahoma, who drafted this player, have a lot of time in player development right now. So if they can develop him right, he could be a really good sort of big time stretch 4, 3, or maybe even a big stretch 5. So I feel like this would be a very, very good pickup for them. They also traded away. I don't know if they traded away. I think, yeah, they did trade away Ricky Rubio to the Timberwolves for this pick. I think that's what happens. So the Timberwolves now have Ricky Rubio and D'Angelo Russell as their point guards. That is awesome. Ricky Rubio is a very smart player, and I love him coming off a bench. He could be a really, maybe one of the best 6-man point guards in the league for sure. But obviously Oklahoma City has a lot of time to develop a young, good player like this, so we'll have to see what that goes. So I'll give him like a B minus. They give him a B plus, so that makes a lot of sense. Next up, Josh Green to the Dallas Mavericks. This is an awesome pickup for them because this is not only a really good 3-and-D type of player and a scorer, but he's also a good ball handler, which you don't have to rely on Luka Doncic trying to just sort of set up all your players. Josh Green can be a player who can play right now, get about 10 points in a game, really good 3-point shooter as well. So I like this idea. He can be a good ball handler as well as a 2-guard who can play alongside Luka very well. I'd give this like a solid B minus. I'd say. I think B minus would be good. They gave him a B. Actually, I'll say a B as well. I really like Josh Green. Obviously, being a Arizona Wildcat, I've watched a couple of his games, and he looked really fluid playing the game. He doesn't have a bad jump shot. He knows where to be at the right time. He just plays a lot like, obviously, like a very young player. Next up, we have Saddiq Bey going to the Detroit Pistons. I think this was the traded pick that went with Luke Kennard, and I'm assuming that the Detroit Pistons saw a lot of sort of potential with Saddiq because they traded the pick obviously to get him. So I think they're probably betting on Saddiq just being just as good of a shooter as Luke Kennard, but being a better defender. So if they are betting on that, and I do believe that's probably the case with Saddiq Bey, I don't think he's going to be like the scorer of Luke Kennard. Obviously, Luke Kennard is already averaging like 15, 16 points per game. I don't think he'd be that good, but obviously on the defensive end, which obviously Detroit needs, I think means a lot. So I do like this pickup. I'll give it a B plus. I think this is a really good pickup for them. They gave him a B. Yeah, this was definitely a good move. I just hate seeing that Luke Kennard's going to the Clippers. The Clippers just get another really good role player, which I feel like their team is just full of. So the Clippers just keep on getting better. At pick 20, Precious Achiuwa, I think that's how you say his name, went to the Miami Heat, which is nice. Is definitely nice, but in my opinion, I would have rather them gone with maybe is already like the perfect sort of future for obviously the Miami Heat. And Precious already plays a lot like Bam. So you're just getting a player who plays a lot like a player you already have, who may not even live up to that sort of height as Bam does right now. So I don't really know why. I think obviously Precious is going to play great in Miami, but his ceiling is probably only and always going to be a second to Bam. So it's not like you're getting a starter type of player. If anything, you can come off the bench and play a couple minutes and play with really high energy and stuff. That's really nice. But as long as they have Bam, the Precious is just going to be a player that comes off the bench for them. So I'd give this like a C+. I really think they could have gone somewhere else with this, in my opinion. These guys gave him a B-, so that makes a lot of sense. But I just think they either needed more of a bigger center than Bam, something a little bit different you can throw at sort of other teams, or went with a wing sort of guard player. I think would have been nice. Pick 21 was Tyrese Maxey to the 76ers. Obviously, picking up a guard for the Sixers is probably what they needed. I think this was perfect. I think I would give this probably a B+, and yeah, they did too. He's built a lot like a sort of combo guard 6'3", which a lot of sort of shooting guard players now are sort of that 6'3" to sort of 6'5" area. So they could play him at the 2, they could play him at the 1. He's a good scorer. He can shoot the ball pretty well. So I really like this a lot. That's for sure. He could play some defense as well, but I think he's not that great of a three-point shooter. If I do remember, he probably shoots around like 30-ish%. So he's probably the best guard at that time was him. So him getting picked up there was probably the best case scenario. So probably I'd give this a B+ as well. That was a good pickup. And at pick 22 for the Denver Nuggets, we had Zeke Naji, N-N-A-J-I. Not sure how you pronounce that last name, but Zeke. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his first name. To the Denver Nuggets. I think he was a power forward or forward type of player, which is fine. But again, in my opinion, I feel like Denver could have gone with a better player at that moment. They probably just picked like some sort of the best sort of forward at that time, which maybe was him. I don't think the power forward position, well, the power forward in anywhere in the NBA, anywhere in the world, the power forward position isn't really that much highly rated anymore. So trying to find just a specific power forward, it's not going to really get you far. So I'd give this like a C. Like, yeah, it's nothing that's going to be like, oh my god, yes, they got a good player right now, we could play, role player, blah blah blah. This didn't really push them over the hump of being a better team, or really didn't diminish them at all. So I'd give it a C. And so did they. Pick 23, the Minnesota Timberwolves got Leonardo Bolmaro. If I can be completely honest, I have no idea who this kid is. So it says here this was a trade for the Knicks pick that was along with the sort of 25th and 33 pick move. So he is a 6'7" wing player who apparently might play overseas or still be drafted to play. It seems like here, and it says they gave a B- for this trade, this draft pick. So again, I don't really know a lot about this player. I didn't really read up a lot about him. But hey, another good wing player for the Timberwolves, I guess. Makes some sense, but I think maybe at this point in time I probably would have picked up a big man in my opinion. So maybe I don't really like this pickup at all. But maybe this kid turns into something. I'm not entirely sure. Here's one we all know though. If you're a basketball fan, pick number 24 involved the trade, I think. And RJ Hampton is going to Denver. At pick 24, RJ Hampton, a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, really big time name in the draft this year, but my god, he slipped far, like more far than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be at least like a top 15, top 10 maybe, but man, he slipped all the way to 24. And I feel like this was like the steal. This was like, oh my god, Denver picked up this guy. Who is this guy? And then, oh wow, they just got RJ. That's crazy. So I love this. I love this pickup. This is probably an A-, B+. You get a bigger guard that you can play behind Jamal Murray. Maybe even play with Jamal Murray at some point in time if it develops well enough. I see this a lot being like a Michael Porter Jr. move where no one sees this guy, or they have reasons for not picking up this guy, and then he turns into maybe your next guy up as a young talent. So this is going to be really good. They have really good player development over there in Denver, obviously, like I just said, with Jokic how he turned out to be, Jamal Murray how he turned out to be, Michael Porter Jr. We're seeing it right now with Monte Morris. This is going to be really good for them, and I'm very excited. I think this is, like I said, like an A minus B plus type pick. They gave him the B, so it's not bad. Oh, and Bobo, obviously. Pick 25, the New York Knicks got Emmanuel quickly. Again, a player I'm not really too sure about. They don't have any stats or anything on here, so I can't talk about that. But let's see here. He was the SEC's Player of the Year, apparently. Quickly unleashed a three-point cannon as a sophomore at Kentucky, which effectively elevated him into the draft discussion. Okay, so he's a deep three-point specialist, in my opinion. So because quickly lacks explosion, it was hard to see his role in the NBA. During his freshman campaign with the Wildcats, though, he averaged just 5 points and shot 34.5% from distance. So this is very much a raw, talented player. Obviously, probably going to be like a G League kid, probably. But man, if they see something in him being a really good sort of scoring guard, maybe that's fine. But again, I can't really talk about this pick, so maybe like a C, C plus. At 26, the Boston Celtics got Peyton Pritchard's. Sorry. Again, just adding more guards to the team, which they don't need. They need bigs. Boston needs bigs. I don't know why they're not doing this, but maybe they see something in this guy that we don't. But Boston just crapped the bed in this draft, in my opinion. They are usually always so good in drafts, but then this year they just, I don't know, they fumbled the bag very bad. I'd give this like a C minus, D plus maybe. Yeah, they gave them a C minus. They need bigs. They need bigs. I don't know why they're not going with bigs. Pick 27 went to the Utah Jazz for Udoka, Udoka, Azubuike. I think that's how you say his last name. To the Utah Jazz. So I think he's a big man if I remember. Yeah, he's a mountain of a man. 7 foot 270. My God, 7'7" wingspan. That is definitely terrifying. So, you just get like another raw big man to play behind Rudy Gobert. I feel like this is okay. I think they probably do need more depth at the big man position. I think all they have there is him and Ed Davis, and I think they have some other, actually, don't they have like a Bradley? His last name's like Bradley, I think, is a center who's really good and young. I don't know why they're picking up this guy. They already have a sort of young big man to play behind Rudy Gobert. They gave him a D for this. Wow. I wouldn't know if I'd give him that low. Maybe like a C minus, but the reporter did not like this pickup apparently. At pick 28, Jaden McDaniels got drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this one I like a lot. This one I might give like a B plus too, maybe even an A minus. If you don't know, Jaden McDaniels was another player, kind of like RJ, was very highly recruited coming out of high school. Played a very rough season for the Washington Huskies, and sort of didn't really turn out to be the player a lot of people thought he was going to be. But with that being said, a highly recruited high school player with a lot of raw talent. He's very much like a Brandon Ingram type of body, very lanky sort of forward. But man, if he can develop well, like I said, he can be like a sort of off-brand version of Brandon Ingram, who's an off-brand version of Kevin Durant. So he's definitely going to be a scorer in the league for sure. And again, he's probably going to be like a G League kid who's probably going to play around that sort of time. But maybe in like a year or two, he's going to develop a really good offensive game, and that's what you really need to look out for. So I'd probably give this like a B plus, and they give him a B minus. So pick 29, we have Malachi Flynn from the Raptors. He is a 22-year-old. He looks like a guard in my opinion, which I don't know why you would pick up a guard when your guard position is probably your deepest with you have Powell and Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet right now, so you're looking pretty good there. I think they don't have DeLon Wright anymore, I don't think, but you have good guards already. So if I would have been in this position, I probably would have picked up maybe more of an upside guard, not sort of an older 22-year-old guard like a sorry, these sort of last sort of like 10 picks have been very much players I didn't really know a lot about. Is Desmond Bane to the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's see here. He is a 22-year-old who shot 43% from threes this year. Not bad for sure. He's a young, athletic player. He might offer more excitement with a higher ceiling, but the Grizzlies should walk away from this selection confident that he just expanded their 2020-2021 rotation and added another member in a long-term nucleus. So they're saying that this guy's going to be sort of a long-term type of player. It doesn't say what position he plays. In my opinion, he looks sort of like a guard. So if they added another really good guard who shoots really good threes, hey, that's perfectly fine. The NBA, you can definitely never need more scoring on threes, in my opinion. So I just want to thank you guys so much again for watching this video. Sorry again for the background noise. It was very loud for some reason. I very much do apologize, and I can also apologize on how the sort of last sort of 10 picks went. Definitely nothing very exciting, but and also just the draft in general. I read an article after the draft saying how there was this buzzing, like something was about to explode before the draft, like trades and things happening here, there, and then dead silence, and there was nothing going on. So, and I bought into it. I thought this was going to be a very fun draft, a lot of trades, some things happening, and nothing happened. So, hey, I guess that does happen. It just didn't turn out to be that way, which kind of sucks. But oh well. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave down in the comments some other suggestions for other videos you guys would like to see, and I'll see you again in my next